A big win in Harriman on Friday night, leading to a #1 seed and an undefeated season. We talked to a whole bunch of South Summit Wildcats following their big-time win. Also, we talked to Colton Bassett a little bit about Wasatch's place in the 5A state playoffs. It's a brand new episode of the Scoreboard, and it's coming up right now. Back-to-back undefeated regular seasons and back-to-back region championships for the South Summit Wildcats. The #1 seed leading into the 2A playoffs got the win on Friday night, and we talked to a bunch of players. Let's take a look. Right now, we are joined by Noah Gunnerson following back-to-back region championships. Noah, how you feeling, man?
Oh my gosh, it's surreal being able to be in the same place 2 times in a row, 10-0 twice in a row. It's just crazy.
An unbelievable regular season, another one in the books. But I got to talk to you about your play, probably the play of your football career. I got to say, what happened? Can you tell the audience?
Yeah, so they had punted before, and I knew that this dude was going to try to block me. So I lined up a little further back, and I knew when their cadence was. So I timed it perfectly, ran right through, and I have to props 100% wouldn't have happened without Caden Hunter. Totally took the guy that was supposed to block me, eye contact with him, left me totally open. And I just jumped up, prayed that it hit my hand, and it just slapped my arm.
Yeah, let's see it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Look at that.
That is crazy. I don't know if you can see it too well. I mean, yeah, you got it. As soon as you came off the field, you said your arm hurt really bad.
Oh, yeah.
Because you blocked it right there, and so unbelievable.
Yeah, it was crazy, and it was the scariest thing ever. When I saw the ball gonna bounce on the ground, and I was like, is it gonna go left? Is it gonna go right? And it bounced perfectly straight back to me.
Yep.
I couldn't have asked for anything better.
No, and then you ran it in for the touchdown on this punt block. I mean, literally a dream come true. What was going through your head when you were like, I'm about to score a touchdown?
The only thing going through my head in this entire time was, don't get caught, don't get caught, don't get caught.
Just don't get taken down. Just make it to the end zone. So you make it to the end zone. What was going through your head once you were in the end zone, once you realized you had just scored 6 points for your team?
Well, up to this point, a lot of our defensive players have had touchdowns, and I'm like, I finally am on the list. I finally got one. Let's go. It was the only thing I could have ever asked for.
Well, what a way to close out the regular season. Let's talk a little bit about the postseason. You're most likely going to have a bye. You're most likely going to be the 1 seed or the 2 seed in this 2A playoffs. You've got a long road ahead, but how excited are you for these playoffs, and who are you looking forward to potentially playing?
I'm really excited. The bye week's going to be great because we really do need an extra week of practice. As good as we've been throughout the regular season, it's really not much of a show. We haven't played that many great teams. So going into the playoffs, we really just have to focus up and give every game our best so that we can take it up.
Fellas, let me ask you this. 10-0 right now. What does the future of this team look like? I know you're all younger players. I know you're all going to be back. What does the future of this team look like in all of your opinion?
I feel like the future's bright, you know. We got us 3 clearly going to be like senior leaders next year, and then we've got good upcoming sophomores that are going to lead the team and continue to help build up the program.
We've won a lot of games in our high school career. We've only lost 2 as a freshman, and then last year we went 10-0. So I think we'll have a good future.
Yeah.
Like Quaid said, we've only lost to our freshman year and haven't lost since. So I feel like we have a bright future.
Hey everyone, right now we are joined by Caleby Thompson. And Caleby, don't play tonight, but you were in the offensive coordinator booth. How was that, kind of you doing something different than you're normally used to?
Oh, it was fun. You know, I was up in the booth helping the coaches out, seeing what's open and whatnot, helping the team out. So, yeah.
What did you see? Like, was it kind of an eye-opening experience to call it from somewhere else, not be on the field doing it yourself and seeing it from a different perspective?
Oh, yeah, when you're up in the booth, you can see a lot more, so it kind of opens things up. And, I don't know, it can help a player out a lot just to open the field up and see what's open so then you can find those open spots for your quarterback. So.
I think the big question everybody is wondering, you go down last week, it's likely that you had broken it. Turns out that's not the case. Can you tell the audience what the plan is for you coming back this season?
Yeah, I definitely thought it was broke. You know, I was freaking out, but we got the MRI and the X-ray back, and high ankle sprain, so I've been doing therapy. So I should be back for our quarterfinal game.
So you most likely get a bye this next week, and then the week after that we'll be in Camas. You believe you're going to be back for that specific game?
Yes, I should be back for the quarterfinal game.
I've been talking to the guys a lot about the season, but I do really want to talk about this specific game. Complete tale of two halves once again. First half, no score on the board for either team. Second half, you completely rout them, beat them 28-7. What was the difference in the second half?
I think just the momentum, first half, we started slow, weren't doing as good as we thought we could. So second half, we just came out strong and did what we knew what we could do.
Yeah, I think second half we just came out with more energy, ready to go. Defense, we stepped it up second half even more. And offense, we got things going too second half.
Was it weird trying to adjust to Caleby being off of the offensive side of the ball?
Yeah, it was a little bit of a struggle. We just need to get more reps, and get going.
Overall, I mean, the team did fantastic. Again, you beat them 28-7, so no one would have even really known that it was, a tough first half. Let's look forward to the rest of the season. You've got playoffs. You're probably going to get a bye this first week. In that quarterfinal game, is there anyone that you're specifically looking forward to potentially playing?
No, we're just seeing who we play, working hard all week and preparing for anyone we get.
Yeah, we just got to be ready for anybody, Anybody. We can beat anybody, so.
10-0 this season, 10-0 last season. Last year, you lose, I believe it was the semifinal, is that correct? How do you avoid falling into that same trap again this next year?
I think just doing what we do, playing ball. Just, you're going to make mistakes, but you just got to keep going and just do what we do.
Do you think you're a more talented squad than you were last year?
I think we're different than last year. I think I'd say we have more talent, yeah.
And so overall, that all being said, do you really believe that this is going to be the team that's going to be most likely facing San Juan in the state final in a couple of weeks?
I definitely believe so. We just got to put the work in and, like I said, hopefully win that state title.
Number one thing that the team needs to focus on leading up to the state playoffs? What's the number one thing that the team needs to do, change, adjust to, or kind of work on before these next couple of games?
We just got to stick together, brotherhood. We got to work on that. We got to pick up some things offensively and defensively. I think overall we're good.
Back-to-back region championships. What are your initial thoughts, initial feelings?
It was great to actually be a sophomore and play in the game.
Yeah.
It's a heck of a feeling. I love these guys. This is my first full year with them, so this is an honor to get. I've loved every single one of these guys, man. This was a great honor.
It's really cool. I didn't get played much, but I'm part of this team and they're all my brothers, so I love it.
I mean, I've been out for 8 weeks, but back-to-back season I've been injured, but it's just amazing to be part of an organization where everybody just loves each other, and the true brotherhood that every single one of us has is just amazing.
It's just a great feeling, and we're heading for the playoffs, so let's get it.
Let's talk a little bit about those playoffs. You're most likely going to get a bye. How important is that bye week going to be to get rested up, to get healthy again, to get players back like KLB for when you're back in Camas for your first playoff game?
Well, we just need to have them healthy. We need to practice, get all the food we need, just rest up, and be ready for that week.
What has it been like being injured this year? What are some of the things that you've had to do to kind of change the way that obviously you can't play, but what are some ways that you've been around this team and been a moral leader for this team?
I mean, I don't have to be there out on the field. I can be out there on the sideline, and I can just encourage these guys to do their best when they come off, pat them on the back, make sure that if they make a mistake, I let them know that it's okay and that they need to go get it next time so that they can contribute to our win.
10-0, an undefeated season. What was maybe your favorite moment of the season, your favorite thing that happened this year?
I'd have to say probably our game against Summit Academy. That had a lot of really fun moments, and it was dogfight just like today, and that was a really fun game. That's definitely my favorite moment.
Being that it's your first season here at South Summit, what's the difference between this football program and other football programs that you've been a part of?
I gotta say, just like the brotherhood, man. Like every single one of these guys care about each other through and through. There's not a single man who thinks he's above one another. There's not the leadership from the seniors. It's amazing. Like this culture all around. I couldn't ask for a better team.
What is the toughest thing that this team has had to overcome this year, going to 10-0, being undefeated? What's the toughest thing that this team has had to do?
Toughest thing, I'd probably say taking off plays. We do that a lot. A lot of people do that. But it's something we got to improve on, and this bye week will help us improve on it. So.
All right, last question for me. I'm going to ask you right down the line again. What is the playoff prediction? Where is this team going to be in a couple of weeks from now?
We're going to be at the championships winning that, baby.
Yeah. We're going to see whoever wants to compete with us and go to the championship.
Yeah, I definitely think we're going all the way to the championship and winning it.
Yeah. Do you think it's San Juan, or do you think it's Beaver, or do you think it's someone else?
I think it's going to come down to San Juan, to be honest. I mean, they're a great football team, but the brotherhood we have, I think no one in the state can beat us with this brotherhood.
What about you?
I agree, San Juan, but we got to stay focused and take the dubs.
Coach, tell us a little bit about your thoughts after this game. You once again become region champions, another undefeated regular season. How are you feeling right
now? I feel great. I mean, that was a tough game. First half, I mean, we haven't had a half of football like that this year yet, so I think it was good for our guys who had to come out in the second half and really battle. But special teams, that's kind of what I focus on with the guys, and we had a great kicking game, 3 field goals, a lot of punts. We have more punts today than we've had maybe all season. So really good chance for our guys. I mean, we work on it in practice, and then we sometimes get in a game and we punt once or we punt twice, you know. And so it's, you know, we get the guys to focus, you know, hey, there's going to come a game where we're going to need some field goals. There's going to come a game where we're going to need some field position with some punts, and here we are at that game. So good practice for our special teams heading into the playoffs.
And you have a handful of those here tonight, and that's going to be very, very important. What is the difference? I mean, we've seen a little bit of a pattern here. Last week, first half wasn't that great. Lots of fumbles, lots of interceptions. This week, you don't score any points in the first half, but then South Summit is not necessarily a second half team, but they have adjusted to becoming one where they really just play out really well in the second half. What has been the difference these last couple of weeks where they have been able to kind of make those adjustments late?
Yeah, I mean, we've been forced to be a second half team, right? I mean, if you go into the half tied 0-0, I mean, that's what we tell the guys at halftime. Like, I mean, we got 2 more quarters to play. You guys want to be region champs? Do we want to be tied with these guys for region champs, or do we want that thing all to ourselves? I mean, that's the speech at halftime to those guys, and they responded. I mean, defense came out. I mean, we had some interceptions. We had some, you know, I mean, we really were opportunistic that second half on, I mean, all phases. You know, the special teams played great second half. Those field goals were big for us, you know, at just keeping that lead stretched out there, you know, keeping the pedal to the metal. So, yeah, these special teams guys do awesome, okay, all of them.
I talked to Noah Gunnerson specifically. He had probably the special teams play of the game. Can you talk us through that a little bit? What was going through your head? I talked to Noah about it, but I want to hear your perspective.
They all blur together, honestly. I mean, I'm just proud of the guys. Like, they do such a great job. And again, they work so hard, and we don't always have a chance to show it off. So to have a game like this where we really got to, you know, I mean, the special teams was more a part of this game than maybe any of our other games so far. So. But yeah, great practice, great reps for these guys heading into the playoffs, because we're going to see some teams in the playoffs where we're going to need all this stuff.
And Brandon, what are some of the other things in the playoffs that you think this team is going to need to make sure that they're ready for? Obviously special teams, but is there anything else that you think the team is specifically going to be needing to be ready for?
I think we just need to be ready everywhere, offense, defense, special teams. You know, just got to fix the little mistakes we have, and that'll make us a better team and hopefully get that state championship.
One of the big questions at the end of this season is just how good is Wasatch football in the 5A scene, and we actually got to talk to Colton Bassett a little bit about that. Let's take a look. Hey everyone, right now we are joined by a very special guest. It is junior Colton Bassett over at Wasatch football. And Colton, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You are having an unbelievable season. This entire team has been having a pretty solid season, not the best season possible, but a pretty good one. How do you feel like this 2022 campaign has been for your team so far?
It's been pretty good for us. I mean, we got a great team. We all love each other. And, you know, we've competed a lot and we haven't come up on top, but, you know, we definitely got what it takes.
Yeah, I think a big thing with this team, and maybe you agree with this, is that this team is very close from being from having a winning season. There's been a lot of close games where things have just not been able to go your way near the end of games. What do you think has been one of the most difficult parts about this season so far for the team, leading to the record that you have? Even though it has been a solid season, what do you think have been some of the things that have been missing on this team so far this season?
Yeah, I think we just lack consistency a little bit, and we just need to finish our games. But I mean, I think if we do that, we'd be doing pretty good. Like we have moments where we shine, and then others where we don't. But if we get more consistent, we definitely have what it takes to do it.
Yeah, speaking about that, I mean, the regular season is over. Could you just tell us a little bit about some of the highlights that the team has had so far this season?
So some of the highlights, we've had 3 big wins, and those games are always fun. But our game against Springville was really close, and that was one of the funnest games I've ever played. One of the most physical for sure. But those are the fun games, even though we didn't win. But we really competed with them, and they're one of the top teams right now. So that was probably the funnest game.
I actually was talking to a Park City football player the other day, and they were specifically talking about Wasatch at home. Your home field advantage is one of the best in all of 5A. How fun is it playing over at the Wright Tree Stadium?
Oh yeah, it's absolutely a blast. We've got the best student section. They always show out, but there's nothing like it. Like running out of the tunnel on Friday, it's unbelievable.
So I've got to ask you, leading into that, the playoff brackets are going to be coming out in the next couple of days here, and that's one of the big specific things I wanted to talk to you about. Your team is 16th in all of 5A. We're not exactly sure where you're going to be placed, but it's likely you're going to be somewhere in that area. If you are 16th, you actually will get home field advantage for your first game if you were to place 16th over someone who may be 17th in the 32-team bracket. And so I've got to ask you, if that does happen, are you really, I mean, is that something that you think is going to happen? Do you think you're going to be that 16 seed? And who are you looking forward to possibly playing in that first game of playoffs?
Yeah, it would be wonderful to have a home game, but we truly don't care. I mean, I know any team that has to play us first round is not going to be happy, even though our record might not show it, but I would not want to play us first round.
Yeah, there's Skyline, there's Olympus, there's a couple of others that are right in that same ballpark, but it really would be good for you to get one more home game to close out the season potentially. If not, you do have a continued playoff run in various neutral fields as well. How much do you think that this team has grown over the year? I know at the beginning of the season, it started off a little slow and then you picked things back up, but you're in a very tough region. Overall, how do you feel like this team has grown from week 1 up until week 9?
Man, we've grown a ton. We've got a lot of young starters on our offense and on defense. And I mean, just the last few games, we've grown so much. And I think we've gotten a lot better with our experience.
Yeah, I definitely think that that's something that's been going on, is the team has really grown up before our eyes this entire season. It doesn't necessarily say that in the records, but it definitely shows on the field and the way that this team has been showing out every single week. You specifically, you're a junior, you're going to be coming back as a senior next year. Who are some of the other big names that you're looking forward to coming back for their second or third varsity season?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to Carter Bucod, Matt Kelson, JoJo Heyer, all the guys on offense. They'll be really big next year. We should have a great season. And then also Colton Brisk on the defensive side of the ball. He's an animal. That'll be his 3rd year starting next year.
Yeah, that's going to be a big one. And you've been an absolute ball hawk this year, picking off a couple of big-time interceptions throughout the season. How have you enjoyed your first year at the varsity level?
It's been so fun, man. There's absolutely nothing like it. It doesn't even seem real. But, I can't wait for next season too. It's going to be so fun.
I know you're also listed as a wide receiver. Do you think you're going to get a few more offensive reps this next year, your senior season?
Yeah, I hope I will. I'm truly a wide receiver at heart, but this is basically my first year playing defense, but I love it. I'll do anything.
How has that adjustment been, going from an offensive player? You're playing the absolute opposite of it. You're playing the cornerback position, and so you pretty much know how to read any wide receiver's mind in most situations. So what has it been like making that transition from offense to defense?
Yeah, it hasn't been too tough, but it's been pretty good. I think it helps a lot knowing playing wide receiver in the past, but it's kind of a different mentality being on defense. You got to be tough, and I like it.
Your biggest game this year has got to be the Skyview game. You had 2 interceptions in that one specifically. You've had a couple of really, really solid games, a couple 5-tackle games as well, but that Skyview game really sticks out like a sore thumb. What was going on in that game that specifically made you place at such a high level?
I think I was just like not thinking too much and just playing. Like when you can just get out of that thinking zone and just go play, it helps a lot and just leads you to the ball.
Speaking of playing cornerback, playing wide receiver, being around those guys, I guess the number one that you've got to talk about is Crew Erickson, one of the best wide receivers in the entire country, a good friend of ours here at the Scoreboard as well. What has it been like being around Crew for the last couple of years, being around him in the program, and also learning from someone like him?
Yeah, it's been amazing. There's no one better to be around. He's one of the funniest kids I've ever known, and going against him in practice every day, it just makes you so much better going against a guy that's as good as him, and I love him for that.
Is he one of those guys that is kind of a leader on the team? I know he's the funniest guy on the team. Everyone tells me that. But is he someone that in times of need, in times of dire need, where the team really needs someone to step up and be that senior leader? Is it him? Is it Chris Cook? Who are some of those senior leaders who have really been stepping up in the football program this year?
Oh, yeah. Crew's definitely been one of the biggest leaders on our team this year, and I think he deserves it. And also Chris Cook and Caden Luke are other two captains, along with Geraldo Payan. And I really love our captains, and they've done a good job leading our team this year.
Who do you think are going to be some of the captains next year? Who are some of the names that we're going to have to be looking out for?
Some of the same names, Colton Brisk, Carter Bucad, by myself, and I think all of us deserve to be, along with Garrett Christensen. He's a 3-year starter on the D-line. We'll be really in good shape with him coming back. So I think there's a lot of potential for captains next year, which is good.
Speaking of potential, I kind of want to ask you a little bit about next season. What do you think the limit is for this team? I've got to be honest, I don't know if this team specifically this year is going to be the one that wins the 5A state championship. It's a long road to get there, but there is a lot of talent that's going to be coming back. Where do you think the limit is for this team in terms of next year? Do you think this team is going to be exponentially better with a whole lot of returners coming back next season?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, I think the experience will just that by itself will help us a ton. And I just think, like, our mentality needs to switch. And, I mean, the sky's the limit. We can go super far next year, I believe.
Well, Colton, I've got one last question for you, and it's a pretty funny one. We have Crew Erickson, who says that you're pretty darn bad at golf. And I've just got to know, what's the story behind this? What is the story behind your golf skill, and Crew Erickson needing to make sure to talk about that in our interview with him just a couple of weeks ago?
Man, we golf a lot, and it gets pretty heated sometimes, but I don't know. Me and Crew, we're pretty competitive, so sometimes it comes out on the golf course, sometimes on the football field, but yeah, I mean, we're both pretty bad, but it's fun.
So you guys often play. Do you guys play out in Heber? Where do you guys play at?
Oh, yeah, there's 3 golf courses around here, and, we just always want to play, so whatever place we can get onto, we're more than happy to go.
Are there any other? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, you're all good. We go quite a bit. I mean, a couple times a week at least.
Oh, my gosh. Are there any other players on the team that enjoy golfing with you? Any other football players who we should be looking out for on potentially the boys' golf team next year?
Yeah, we go golfing with a lot of people, but Garrett Christensen, like I said, and Carter Bucad and Crew, we always going out on the golf course. And, yeah, I mean, maybe the golf team is going to be good instead of the football team next year.
I think the football team is going to be pretty darn good next year with all you returners coming back. But with that all being said, with this golf crew, who typically comes out number one and who typically comes out on the bottom of the grouping of these guys?
Garrett's pretty freaking good. He could probably be on the golf team, and Carter's also good. But me and Crew are usually towards the bottom, but it's still all right. We're getting better.
Well, Colton, thank you so much for the time. We really appreciate it. Good luck. When these playoff brackets come out, we're going to be doing a whole lot more coverage on this football team. Hopefully you get a home game. We're definitely going to be coming out to it. We haven't gone to enough of them. Thank you so much for the time. We really appreciate it. Hey, thank you so much for watching The Scoreboard. On Friday, Brent Martindale and I are going to be talking about 1A football, 2A football, as well as 5A football. All of the teams and where they are seated and their paths to the state championship. For Brent Martindale as well as the entire Scoreboard team, I am Blake O'Rourke, and we will see you all next time.